Hello. I'm Martine.
I'm Bailey, and I'm taking my last bite.
She's eating pizza. And today we're going to be reading This Winter by Alice Oseman.
I'm so excited.
This is my last Alice Oseman book to be up to date on Alice Oseman books.
I'm sad for you.
I'm devastated.
I just have Solitaire left.
Yeah, and you're not going to get to Solitaire until I finish annotating the copy of Solitaire I'm sending
Exactly.
you. So
That's okay. We've done a lot of it recently, so a little break will be good.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, friends.
Anybody who's actually reading this with us should let us know.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I didn't see anybody say they were going to try to.
I saw one person say that they were probably going to, but let's be honest, this is mainly for us.
This is self-indulgent.
Hello. So yeah, basically the plan for this, like when we read Nick and Charlie in July, is that we're going to split it up into sections and we'll do silent reading sprints while we're reading those sections. And once both Bailey and I are done with said section, we will
I am done with the section because we learned last time it takes me a little longer than Martine.
Don't say that and jinx me.
Right.
And then after we're ready, we're going to have full spoilery thoughts on that section that we just read before we continue on.
Right. So you can follow along as normal reading sprints, but we will be full spoiling a book during discussions.
Yes, and you can read this book with us, but if we happen to go faster than you, feel free to pause before we spoil everything.
And catch up.
Right.
And also, like, this has great potential for rewatch, so if you're watching this, like, at a later date, just read on your own and then skip to when we're talking.
Because we'll have interesting things to say.
I'm sure.
Okay, so I took a look at this before we met here today.
Thank you, because I was currently trying to do that as you're like, we're going to break it up into sections. I'm like, what sections?
Now, it appears to have 3 main sections. They are of vastly different lengths.
Okay.
But the first one is Tori, the second Charlie, and the third Oliver. So it's going from eldest to youngest spring sibling perspective. Okay. So I thought that would work just fine if it worked for you. Now, you haven't read from Tori's perspective before.
No.
So it will be interesting to see your reaction to it.
Okay.
The only character whose perspective I haven't read from in here before is Oliver, but I love him.
Nothing else with his perspective.
Right. But there should be petition.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of, if she continues to write in the same universe, there's a lot of potential.
Yeah. Because even she didn't start out by thinking of Nick and Charlie and Heartstopper. She wrote Solitaire
first.
And then she like draws all of her characters because she likes illustrating. And then she was like, how did Nick and Charlie start reading? And that's Heartstopper.
And then now it's this huge thing.
Right. And now Solitaire has been like left behind in the dust.
Right.
And Heartstopper is the in thing. So should we get started with our first section?
Yeah. Did we determine how many pages that is?
No.
I can see where it ends here. Okay. It's like 46 pages.
Yeah, it's 46 pages. So about half the book is the first section.
That'll take me, I mean, this is a complete guess, probably about 35 minutes. 30 minwe'll say 30 minutes.
Let's test
there's pictures in this, so less than that.
It's 3:04.
I don't have to estimate. We'll be back when we are done.
Okay. See you then. Are you ready?
I'm done.
How are we feeling?
Mostly, I think it's interesting because this was Tori's section, but it was mainly like her thoughts about Charlie. Like it still felt about Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the family dynamic in this is interesting.
Say more.
They seem on edge. And I've never really felt that much of that from this family. Like Tori seems to be just like waiting for arguments.
Hmm.
Which
That's
doesn't
interesting.
too.
I have a very different perspective
Okay.
of than you do.
Okay. I'm missing background knowledge that you have.
Well, I'm even thinking back to some of the reactions I saw in like volume 4, I think it is.
Okay.
Like some of the things his parents say or do were a little weird. And then there's definitely stuff in Solitaire that adds to the family dynamic, I think. And I particularly think because Solitaire is from Tori's perspective, that family dynamic that she sees comes through in this first section. But their mom does have this tendency to make everything about her.
Yes.
And her feelings, instead of like her children who are struggling. And I think that definitely carries through to her being like, I'm trying my best. And being like, well, your best isn't good enough, and it's not really about you anyway. Which I can't imagine saying that to my mom, but my mom's also not like their mom. So
yeah, sometimes mom's bests aren't good enough. But also, I do feel like Tori just has like a very somber outlook. Like her saying that Oliver is basically the only happy for the whole family. Everybody else is sad.
Yeah, it's interesting because Alice Oseman, when they first wrote Solitaire, they were 19, right? Yeah. And they were like, Tori is not mentally ill. You can be sad and not depressed. And everybody was like, but you wrote a character with every symptom of depression.
Right.
And since then, she's been like, I was probably wrong about that. So I definitely think that carries, whereas like Oliver plays with his tractors.
Yeah.
Like lives his best life. I love Oliver so much.
Yeah, for context of the people who are not reading this with us or don't plan to ever, we're at Christmas Day with the Spring family. And so they're getting their gifts, and a lot of what Tori was talking about was this is like the season right after Charlie is getting treated for his eating disorder. So she's very nervous about his day around family.
Yeah, which I think does put this like right after volume 4. Or like near the end of it.
Yeah. I would agree.
And it's also definitely after Solitaire, because she mentioned one thing like very briefly that I was like, that was during the time
that happened, right?
So that's where we are timeline wise. I don't know. I think seeing their broader family is interesting because I don't think we've ever seen their extended family before.
Right. This had cousins, which I did enjoy this frame of them all just like
I love all of
eating. Right. Oh, and also Kayla saying that was fast. When I said it was 46 pages, then I realized it started on page 11.
Yeah.
And then also there is pictures.
Double spaced.
Yeah. Oh
yeah. With pictures on like every second page. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm liking it so far. What are you thinking?
I mean, it's obviously like, what's the point going to be? Like, where is the entire plot going? I'm interested why Oliver is the last perspective. And I don't really think the point is going to be plot. Like, it's just like a little look at one day, I'm assuming. So
Yeah.
But I do think in the next section, Charlie's section, we're going to get Nick and Charlie. So
I
that'll
hope.
spark joy.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this first section?
Oh, I also just noticed that she mentioned Wednesday Addams, and this was clearly like out before the resurgence of that being like a thing in popular, so it stood out to me.
I feel like there was something that stood out to me. Now I'm flipping back through it to see. It is interesting because I don't have any younger siblings, so this idea of having a younger sibling that wakes you up on Christmas Day feels unrelatable to me.
Yeah, I also don't, or never had any that lived with me.
I was the Oliver. So,
but I feel like I was that kid.
Yeah, no, I was definitely the Oliver of the family. I was like, wake up! I still am.
Yeah.
Oh, I did love the discussions about Mario Kart. Every time they talk about it, feels very nostalgic to my childhood for me.
I've never played Mario Kart in my life.
Mario Kart is my favorite video game because it's also deeply tied with like extended family memories for me, because that is like the game I played with my cousins when we visited them in Canada. And so like when I was Oliver Spring aged, and even younger, because he's 7 in this, right? So an even younger Oliver Spring age, we would get like assigned, we didn't know how to use all the controls, so we would get assigned a cousin, and I would hold go while they steered. And we would always do Rainbow Road, which they were talking about, because it's the hardest one. Have you ever even seen Rainbow Road?
Maybe, but I couldn't like draw it to memory.
Okay, so it's basically just a road that is a rainbow, but it's set in like deep space.
It's like a lot to look at.
And so it's really easy to fall off of.
Oh, okay.
And then you lose time because the little cloud guy has to go and pick you up and put you back on the track.
Okay. Thank you for the background knowledge.
Yeah, people fall off Rainbow Road all the time. It's really hard, but it's also really fun. So like playing Rainbow Road with my family is a definite core memory for me.
And I feel like, yeah, I feel like they, like Tori and Charlie were playing it, and it was like bonding.
Yeah.
I picture them playing it a lot more together going forward now that they have it.
Yeah. Well, they said they got the new one. They've had it in previous. They just got the new edition.
Correct.
But it does bring up an interesting point for the show, because oftentimes they play Mario Kart with Oliver.
Okay.
And Oliver is not in the show. And so in the show, Charlie Spring is good at Mario Kart for no reason.
You have seen the show more times than me, so I'm just like, is he just not present in the show yet, or does he like straight up not exist? Like they
straight up not exist. Alice Oseman was like, we don't have the room
to add him.
Yeah. So he's not there. It's very sad.
And like won't be there, right? Like you can't just be like, oh yeah, by the way, we have a little brother later on.
Yeah, it's just two very sad Spring siblings.
Wow.
All right, are we ready for Charlie's perspective?
Yeah, Ruby just sent me a photo of
Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
Yes, that is Rainbow Road. Correct. I have seen it. Okay, this goes up to page 92.
Okay, so this is probably actually the longest section.
Yeah, probably. It makes sense because it's Charlie's perspective. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Go.
I'm done.
Hello. Now I'm all smiling.
I mean, I do feel like this is a sad one. Like, it's not happy.
Yeah, no, but every time Nick and Charlie are together,
Yes.
I just go,
like, Nick is good.
yes. And they're good together, and they're good for each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this section, Charlie goes over to Nick's house.
Firstly, to escape, which didn't feel like much of an escape.
Yes. There are many, many people at Nick's house for some reason, which it made me laugh when Tori was like, it seems humanly impossible that Nick has this many relatives.
Yeah. I come from a family that big, so I'm just like, hee.
This is always funny to me. It's interesting because, like, okay, on my mom's side of the family, it's pretty big, but on my dad's side of the family, it's very small. So, like, combined, it's like average size. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that this was when Nick gets Henry.
Oh, yeah. So cute. Puppy.
I love Henry. It makes me feel bad for Nellie. Also, we didn't get a picture of Nellie, which was upsetting.
No, we didn't. We only got Henry.
We only got Henry.
The heck?
I love Nellie. Now, Nellie is in some of the pictures in the very front of the book. Look in some of the ornaments.
The heck? Yep.
But only made a very brief on-page appearance during this section.
What a shame.
And as much as I love Henry,
Nellie is the original.
What else did I think?
I forgot how much the brother sucks and that he even existed.
Oh my god, yeah. You repressed David.
Yes.
David's yeah, David showed up and I was like, what ignorant thing is he about to say?
Yeah, and it was bad.
It was real bad. It made me really sad that Charlie was like, I should have stood up for myself.
I should have argued, yeah.
When it's like, no, he just shouldn't have said that to you.
Yeah.
But I do, however, think that Charlie actually did fight back really well with his comment about, like, well, documentaries like that are made to further stigmatize already stigmatized conditions like schizophrenia.
And I think that he also was definitely giving the vibe of, like, what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah. And I was like, go Charlie! But nothing will be as epic as the smackdown Tori gives David in, is it volume 3? I think it's volume 3 of Heartstopper.
3 and 4 men together for me.
Yeah, no, same. But you know the moment I'm talking about? With the phone?
No. It's been so long for me.
I think she, like, kicks his phone down the stairs.
Oh, okay, yeah, I do remember that.
Also, I know you're not really on this side of the internet, so have you seen yet who's been cast as David in Heartstopper?
No, is it someone famous? Like someone that I would know already?
I don't think it's someone that you would know, but I want your reaction to this.
To what he looks like?
Yeah.
Because in here, I get the vibe that he very much looks like Nick, except smaller. So I'm getting, like, frat bro. Because Nick doesn't like give frat bro. He just gives, like, kind of a big guy. But David gives, like, overcompensating kind of little dude frat bro vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I think he should be more blonde, but yeah, that's kind of the vibe.
Well, but then that gets to the argument of, is Kit Connor blonde? To which I think the answer is no.
Yeah. That's fair.
So yeah, that's David. And the actress who plays Tori hinted that they were in fact going to do that scene in season 2.
That'll be fun.
So that should be fun. I wish we had more Tori versus David in this section. But alas.
I mean, yeah, we don't get their interaction. We just get her being like, Your brother was a dick again, basically.
I'm glad that Charlie realized that he was a jerk to Tori.
Yeah.
Because, like, I understand why, like, when you're going through a mentally difficult moment, it's really hard to think about what other people are also feeling in response to.
Yeah.
But he really acted like she isn't an awesome sibling when she is. I don't know.
I just know that me personally, I would react how Charlie did and be like, this is about me. I'm leaving. You do your stuff on your own.
Yeah. And so I think like him taking space from it was the right move, but I'm glad that they like made up at the end.
Yeah, like him and Tori didn't need to argue. Like him leaving was like okay, but Tori was obviously upset about it. I also do think it's funny that she did just like he wasn't responding to texts for not a huge length of time, and she's like, "Guess I'm just gonna come over there."
Yeah, I mean, she starts at 5:14, and she comes around like 7:02. So that's almost 2 hours.
Oh yeah, it's a slight span of time.
Yeah.
Also, for being at a family event, I would not be kissing all over the place like these two are.
Yeah, fair.
Like you are not alone. Yeah.
This got me. I do think though it was very rude of the family. Like they were having this moment and suddenly there were like 7 people looking at them.
Yeah.
And I was like,
but that's what I'm saying though, is they're like, oh, we were kissing like a little longer than intended. And then somebody's like, oh, this must be your boyfriend. And then there's like 10 people looking at them. I'm like, that is mortifying to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
The one that you shared, but this I actually think is almost cuter. But another vibe of like, okay, you are cuddling on the couch like this, but like this house is still full.
Yeah. But everybody else is like paying attention to whatever they're doing. Like they're not looking at them.
Like they're alone.
I do think it's funny that Charlie ended up playing Mario Kart here too.
Yes.
I was like,
it's the vibe of the year.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah.
All right. I think those were my thoughts.
I like
the sibling hug.
I'm very interested. Yeah, I'm very interested on what Oliver's perspective is going to be. Like, I'm getting that he's just going to be like, I want to play Mario Kart. And the two siblings are going to come home and play Mario Kart, and the day is fine.
Yeah, and the end. Like, I'm really liking this, but I don't think it's going to be a 5 stars for me.
I feel like there's truly not enough here.
Yeah. But I guess Oliver could prove us wrong.
Okay. And this section is only like, we'll be back in 4 minutes.
Yeah. What are we thinking?
I mean, it was like a cute, like he sounded like a child.
Yeah, I made myself try and like hear a child saying it.
I just think too, like in my mind, all I can think about is that like he will be the last one there. Like eventually they won't live there.
Yeah.
And he's like, I like it better when all three of us are here.
Yeah, but he might not feel that way in a few years.
Yeah, no. Like when my sister moved to college, I was like, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
I don't know. Oliver is.
Yeah, that was cute.
I love that he's like, I run towards Charlie because Charlie's the only one who still picks me up.
Also, like a 7-year-old though. I don't know how many 7-year-olds you see lately. 7-year-olds are big.
They're huge. That being said, this photo, I was like, how tall is Charlie Spring?
It is like unproportionate almost.
It makes him look like he's gonna hit his head on the door frame once he stands up.
Yeah.
Which is just silly goofy, because then I'm like, Nick is taller than him.
Oh, right.
So I don't know. Maybe it's because of the
Perspective.
but I was like, why does he look so tall?
Like, somebody please insert Nick into that frame so we can see what it looks like.
Oh, I also loved how when Charlie and his mom were talking in the kitchen, Oliver was like, I hope she's apologizing like I told her.
I told her to. Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
It was like kid vibes. It was good.
It was cute. I definitely think it's
and then playing Mario Kart at the end.
Yeah, a 4-star for me.
Okay, I'm gonna co-pilot really quick. I'm gonna talk it through because we're here and why not? Okay. Characters, I love the characters. 10.
I think the only thing really missing is plot.
Well, yeah. Atmosphere, 9. Is that fair?
Definitely Christmas.
I mean, yeah, it is Christmas. Writing, I love her writing, 10. Plot, like, how much do I think plot was missing? I do feel like this is purely for, like, character backstory.
And it took about half the time to read this that it took me to read.
Oh, yeah. This took no time. Plot. I mean, it's really not there. Yeah. But it wasn't bad. I'm just going to go middle of the road 5.
5.
Intrigue. Again, like, there was no plot. Like, what are you intrigued by? There's no plot. 6. Logic. I think very logical, to be honest.
Yeah.
10. Enjoyment. I'll go, like, 8. Enjoyment. So, yeah. That's, like, even, like, a 4.5.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me open my spreadsheet.
Definitely skip. Because there isn't a plot.
Yeah. Let me put it into my spreadsheet because it has different categories. So characters, 10. Plot, I agree, 5. Writing, 10. I giggled. Setting, 9. Enjoyment. And it's telling me to give it a 5-star.
Yeah. That's the thing is like saying that there wasn't much here, but then we also just like love Alice Oseman's like characters and the writing for me from her are always going to be like 10.
Yeah. Okay. I just changed my rating on Bookly. I'm giving it a 5. The spreadsheet has.
The thing about me is I'm okay saying that it's a 4.5 because I always round my Goodreads ratings down. So it'll be a 4 on Goodreads.
Mm-hmm. My thing is usually when I enter things on spreadsheets, I then have to finagle it to raise it to what I actually think the rating is.
I'm good about not doing that.
So for this one to tell me that it's higher than my gut reaction, I'm like, no, you're right. You're right. How dare I?
I think I have actually given most of Alice Oseman 4 stars.
Yeah, you gave Radio Silence 5 stars.
Let's look.
I think you might have given 1 or 2 of the graphic novels 5 stars.
I think I gave the first couple. No, that's not what I wanted to look up. I do struggle more with like the ones like this where it's talking like it is just not as happy.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it not letting me search on Goodreads? Is Goodreads down by chance?
I don't know. It gave Ruby that passive aggressive message earlier.
It's definitely not working for my phone.
Yeah, it's not working on my computer either.
Okay. Well, I guess the world will never know.
Oh well.
I know in my heart they're all high. In my heart also, because we just read I Was Born for This.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, that's probably the lowest one, but that I feel like that's also not fair because those characters were removed from like this universe.
Right.
Like this already is in a universe that I love.
Yeah.
It automatically is like already somewhere for me.
Yeah, but you did give Radio Silence 5, I guess, olids in Heartstopper, but he doesn't play a very prominent role in Heartstopper.
Yeah. Same with like who's in Loveless?
Georgia.
Okay. So like they're all like there's like cameos, but
yeah, no. Who
does anyone show up in Loveless?
They have to.
That's what, like it feels like that's a thing.
Heartstopper character.
I really am so curious on what she's gonna do next. Because I feel like even since writing like all of this stuff, she's really popped off.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, do they want to continue writing in this universe or like try something new now that they know they have like a following?
I am not seeing who made a cameo in that book.
Maybe they didn't. Because I can't, nothing comes straight to mind.
I do know that they finished plotting out the last volume of Heartstopper.
Yes, I know that's the next thing to come, but then what?
Yeah, and that they've started releasing the pages on Patreon, and so everyone who follows her Patreon is like, G, did you see this? And I'm like, I'm poor.
Oh no, you're not in her. How much is her Patreon?
It's like a couple bucks every month, but like,
yeah, it's like, is it worth it?
Right. Because like, I'll get that content soon.
Like eventually, right? Eventually, it'll just be out there.
Right.
You have the patience to not spend the money.
Yeah.
Which I rarely have.
But yeah. So I'm trying to think. You gave Loveless 4 stars, right?
I think I did give Loveless 4 stars.
Yeah. The only one that I can really think that you definitely gave 5 stars is Radio Silence. And the only reason I truly remember that is because
I read it because of you.
Yeah. And so I felt so victorious because I'd like previously only given you like 2 star rates. So yeah.
Victoria giving good information.
Thank you. Highest tier is $5 a month.
Which is like kind of spendy.
That could give me 3 Dollar Tree books. Okay. Get on it.
Interesting. I feel like that's, from what I see, what most people read as a standalone novel first.
Yeah.
Outside of
no same. I do read Heartstopper page by page, but just a couple weeks after the people on Patreon do.
Right.
When it gets posted to Webtoons.
Yeah, I've never done that. I shall hold out for the volumes.
No, not me.
I don't like to read. Like, I want more of the story at once, and I want to hold it.
That's fair.
I would just feel like left on edge every time reading like a couple pages.
That's fair, but at the same time, like the ending of volume 1 is a huge cliffhanger. So like having the volumes does not help.
Yeah. I do think I read volume 1 and 2 back to back.
You have to. That's why it's all in one season. Imagine if they had ended season 1 like they ended volume 1. No.
I feel like TV can't do that.
Yeah. Because it was after the party when Nick like walks out. That's where the volume ends. So
yeah, that was painful.
I have also only read it on Webtoon and never. I'd love to own the books one day, but for now, Webtoon. Yeah. Even just figuring out like what are they gonna say next?
Right, like you're ending mid conversation.
Yeah. Kayla's very upset that
That
this is gonna take longer.
I honestly thought it would.
Yeah, well, I
Like,
thought
are
it
you
would.
gonna be done before the Super Bowl? And I was like, yeah,
When does the Super Bowl start?
in 2 hours.
Yeah, for
Maybe
sure.
2.5 hours from now.
There is just this. It's a pretty big chunk in the back that's like
Yeah,
a
there's
chapter
more.
for Solitaire, and then like ads for the. There are a couple pages with their Christmas lists. Did you look at them?
No, and I'm going to them now. Are they like the last things? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, also, I was going to comment on the fact that clearly Charlie and Tori both got like fairly expensive gifts.
Yeah, they did. But did they get?
Nick wants
else?
a cake recipe book.
I love him. But they didn't get anything else, right? Like it's not like they got a bunch of stuff and then a big.
I mean, those are the only things they mentioned. Yeah. Oliver got everything he asked for. Tori's list is ridiculous. Okay.
That's how Tori speaks like all the
Yeah.
time. For those who want to know, Tori Spring's Christmas list is a new laptop, a laptop case, and a soul.
Soul. I don't think somebody else can gift you a soul.
No, you can't. I like other people's opinions or commentary in the pages though because it's easier to read through because there are less comments than on Webtoons. That's fair. I just don't read the comments.
I'm a bad internet participator.
I'll like go on Twitter or TikTok to talk to people about it, but I don't have a Webtoons account.
Oh.
So
I've never even attempted the website.
Oh my goodness. I have to go there to like find specific things sometimes that I'm talking about. But yeah. Okay. Well, any other thoughts on this?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It feels weird that we've done it now.
Yeah. Okay.
Ruby wants us to do more books like this in the future. The thing with doing these this way is that they're so short.
Yeah. I mean, we could theoretically do other novellas, but I'm not sure how many novellas we're both interested in.
I mean, I feel like the page cap for like reading on a live show for us personally would be like 200. I know some people will like read a whole book.
Yeah.
In 24 hours.
You know what we could do is we could have a month of Magic Treehouse where
we read online.
Treehouse
really
live.
Good. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
That's an idea.
Kayla text me about it.
And then Ruby would get to participate too, because that seems like what she's interested in.
That's also how Kayla read Olympus.
Can you read Laura Olympus for free on Webtoons?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that. I picked it for somebody's friend's favorites.
So. Yeah, read it for free.
And I don't think I'll like it. So I might as well read it for free.
What about March? We could do it in March.
March is crazy times, girl.
It is.
What are you committing to?
We'll think about it, Kayla. Let's move on that thought. Okay. We're gonna say goodbye now.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.